Yep, Independence is Vibe. I'm Travis.
And I'm Chris.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.
And don't forget to catch us on Instagram and on YouTube at Independence is a Vibe, because you know that it
Yes,
is.
sir.
And as always, y'all know we got some type of topic for you, because it's a podcast and you gotta have a topic, right? So today's topic is how having a I'll figure it out mindset builds confidence and grit.
It's a good one right there.
It is. Now, when we first came across this topic, I thought it said grits, like the food, but it wasn't. It wasn't food. It was grit, like GRIT. So I'm just throwing that out there. And so, y'all know if you've been following the podcast for a long time, we are two young men that are physically disabled, and so having a I'll figure it out type of mindset helped us do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's how it's been like, basically like my whole life.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? Having a disability, you gotta figure things out. Like when you go somewhere, a lot of times it's like that. I mean, I feel like that's how I built my independence.
Oh yeah, you could say that again, because if you not a person that's willing to go figure things out, you're not gonna be independent. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be independent at all.
Right.
And one thing I learned, and I feel like I learned this late in life too, is like sometimes you're not gonna have somebody there to tell you what to do. That's why you gotta figure things out. But hopefully earlier in your life, like when you was a kid, you had somebody, at least one person, that'll show you the certain steps to figure things out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, always had our parents to kind of guide us through.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? If we needed assistance with anything.
And sometimes they had us in situations where, okay, I ain't gonna help you with this. What would you do if I wasn't here?
That too.
Hey, I'm here right now, but act like I ain't here. You don't see me.
I always got that talk.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Well, what would you do if I wasn't here? Act like you don't see me.
But I think that's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
If you ever saw that, I think it was that Ray Charles movie, where his mom was really hard on him. It was like, you ain't go, be out here acting like you can't do anything for yourself. So I think that's kind of a good lesson.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. Because you got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to have some confidence, some grit in you. You know what I'm saying? But I realized too that that's not something that just comes with your body when you're born.
That's kind of like instilled in you.
Yeah, it got to be built.
From life experiences.
Yep. It got to be built.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying go put yourself in some bad situations and figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying just keep living.
Yeah.
Because the more you live, you're going to wind up in situations that you have to figure things out, and that's how you're going to build your confidence.
I think that's life overall.
Yeah.
Just figuring things out, So ain't no handbook to this.
No. Not at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like, too, like, for the person who they kind of like things to be handed to them, it's like life don't work that way.
No.
It don't. Because as soon as you get to a certain point, there's not going to be anybody to hand you anything. You're going to have to go get it yourself.
Yeah, because once you not around the people that's handing you everything, and you get around people that's like, figure it out yourself, or I ain't doing that.
Right.
You ain't gonna know how to respond to that.
For real. And I'm a person that, I didn't want to go anywhere and have meltdowns, breakdowns.
Yeah.
So I try to figure out as much as I possibly can based off of like information I've been given, things I've been shown, stuff like that. If it's a new territory for me, like if it's something I ain't never done, then I'm the kind of person that's calculated. I like to, reach out to the people in my circle and be like, hey, I got to go do this. What I do? What I tell the people? Like what I, Now, if those people I'm reaching out to don't know, maybe they know somebody that does. But if they don't, I got to a point where I still go do it. It's just I'm a little more apprehensive.
I'm going to just wing it.
You going to wing it, huh?
I'm going to just wing it. If they don't know, then I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm going to be the one to figure it out.
Nah, bro. Pioneer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, that's how you got to be.
Right.
Because, like I said multiple times, I was a person, when it came to a lot of stuff in life, I'm not taking a chance. If I don't know, I'm not going to find out. But the older I got, I saw that like that's how you miss out on things in life.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of stuff I want, you know, and I don't want to miss out, so I'll take the chance, you know. And sometimes taking a chance ain't good. I'm just being real. Sometimes taking a chance is not good, but the things you learn from taking a chance is good.
Yeah, back to what you were saying, you know, like growing up, you know what I'm saying? I ain't always had that grit as well in me until I got that tough love one day. When I was always expecting it to be done for me, until that they ended, it was like, nah, you got to do this yourself.
Yep.
And that's where it came from.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm glad, though, that happened.
Yep. My parents used to say this right here. They say, you'll appreciate this when you get older.
Yeah, because back then you don't really see it. Like, they being mean.
They being mean, yeah. You see how I am. You know what I'm saying? I ain't asked for this.
Right.
I came from y'all. Matter of fact, y'all did this, so I should be giving. And they like, no, ain't no giving. Ain't no handouts. No.
Yeah.
I do it this time, but next time, this on you.
Right.
Every time after that, this is on you. And you be like, man, why? Because one day I ain't going to be here.
Right.
And then what you going to do? And you be like, oh, it's like that? Y'all ain't going to have somebody in place for me? Like, nah, you in place for you. See what I'm saying? Like, and that's real. If you love your kid or you love the person you with and they wind up in a situation, because not everybody is born disabled. You know what I'm saying? If they wind up in a situation, it's like, you know, that's how you prepare them. You start with your words. And you let your words get in their head. Like, you know, hey, you know, I'm going to have to figure this out.
I mean, and the world ain't going to show you no love.
Sure ain't. You know,
regardless if you got a disability or not.
People ain't trying to help you. Everybody for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people find that out the hard way.
Yeah.
You know? Everybody who you claim was your friends ain't necessarily your friends.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm gonna leave that topic alone. But yeah. You know, you got to have that I'm gonna figure this out mentality, because if you wind up by yourself, all you got is you and God.
Yeah.
It ain't nobody but you and Jesus, and y'all, you know, you're gonna have to figure this out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take the wheel.
You know, and it's knowledge that comes from being able to figure things out on your own.
Yeah.
You know, like Travis said, getting experience.
That experience is key.
Yeah. It's knowledge that comes from that.
That's what builds you.
Yep. You know, and nobody wants to be on this planet and be dumb.
Right.
You know, and I say that very loosely. I'm not saying that to offend anybody. I'm just saying nobody wants to be here on this planet and just be stupid. You know, it's not how anybody wants to be.
Right.
You know, we all want to be looked at like we somebody. We did something.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how you get to being that person. You go through enough stuff and you stop, you know, waiting on somebody to fix the problems for you.
I mean, I know for me it's like a liberating feeling to be able to do things on my own. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Feels good.
It does. And the first time I learned to cook, it felt great. You know, signing paperwork for this house was amazing. The first job I ever had, because I didn't ever think anybody would give me a chance to prove I could work. And so the first job I had felt incredible.
Yeah.
You know, just, it's nothing like independence.
Make you feel unstoppable.
Yeah. If I could do this, I could do that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah.
That's how it should be.
That's how it's supposed to be. I think God got us wired like that.
Yeah.
That's why your body, you know what I'm saying, release endorphins when you experience something new or something you wanted to do and you actually do it. Your body release a chemical that help you to get healthy and help you to live. Because you're supposed to experience life.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to just chill and wait for everything to be handed to you. You know what I'm saying? And I know everybody's situation is different. I'm not saying if you're in a physical situation where you can't get to certain things, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you able-bodied or you somebody that's disabled, but you can think and you can move and you can do things.
Yeah.
Don't sit back and wait for life to come to you. You go to it.
Yeah, you know, take it and get out there, attack. You know?
Right. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be in attack mode. You know, so, you know, have that dog in you.
That's it. That
You know what
dog.
I'm saying? Yeah.
That's it right there.
Have it in you. You know what I'm saying? Talk to God and then start moving.
That's it.
Because Life is meant to be lived. You know what I'm saying? And you can't live life unless you're independent.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just move, just do something,
Yeah.
and everything else fall into place.
Yep. I'm still on this journey of trying to figure out like a business I can do, through the internet at home and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I got a little frustrated like a day or two ago because the stuff I'm trying to figure out, it ain't coming together yet.
Yeah.
It's forming, but it ain't coming together yet. And I was reading, I don't know if it was ChatGPT or something on Instagram I seen. I saw it somewhere, might have been Instagram, and it said if I had to put, it was ChatGPT. Now that I think about it, it was like I had put the question in there: what are the steps for somebody to have an online business and get rich,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the first thing it said was step one was don't give up.
That's it.
It was like because having a business and getting rich is two different things, and it take time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, so the first step is don't give up. And I was like,
Got ChatGPT, man.
yeah.
Preaching.
It ain't right on everything, but some things it's just like,
Preaching.
So it was like, hey, don't give up. And I had to think about how many things through the years. I'm talking about like starting at age like maybe 27, 28. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out an online business and all of that. And all the times I'm like, man, this ain't working. And then I stop it because I've been at it for a year or two. Stop it and do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then that ain't work. And it been 2-3 years on that. And I'm like, bro, it been some years.
Yeah.
But if I give up, I'll never know.
Yep.
So I can't give up.
Thing is to just keep going.
Right. You got to keep going. That's the whole thing.
Yep.
And having this I'll figure it out mentality, it's supposed to build something in you that makes you just keep going. You might not figure everything out, but the stuff you did figure out, work with that.
Yeah, it's like an unstoppable kind of determination you have.
Yeah.
You know.
You get the ball rolling, basically. And then that could be from a conversation or something you read. Maybe you prayed and God just dropped something in your spirit and it's just got you moving.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever started the ball rolling, figure everything out step by step. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going to keep you.
Yeah.
You just, the end thing is don't give up until you see what you want.
Yep.
You literally see something you built right in front of you.
That's the aha moment right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that I'll figure it out mentality, whether that came from people throwing you to the wolves in a matter of speaking, or
just tough love.
Somebody walked with you, step by step until you got to a certain point, and then it was like, all right, now you got to pedal for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm done pushing.
Yeah.
That whole I'll figure it out is you got to have that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have it.
Yep. Yeah, y'all drop some comments on this topic and let us know your thoughts on this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well.
And don't forget to catch us on Instagram and on YouTube. Y'all don't forget to leave some comments. And we'll be back with another video.
Stay tuned.
And we out.
Peace.